This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, welcome to the iRacing Esports Network and Imola for the BSR MX5 Pro Series. Chaz Draycott here alongside Tom Jacobs with Alex Simpson on the cameras as always. And Tom, we're back at the wonderful, famous Grand Prix circuit of Imola. How do you reckon these guys are going to get on here tonight?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope you've had a good evening and looking forward to this one. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting event for sure. It's one of those iconic circuits, isn't it? I mean, it's been dubbed down since the events of 1994. We've lost the true Tamburello and it's been slowed down a lot, but I think it's still one of the classic Formula One circuits that we all know and love, and that we all grew up watching shady footage of Schumacher and Senna and Prost rattling the odd Ferrari and Williams V12 and V10 round here. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one for the evening.
And the weather we saw last time did fluctuate quite a bit. Sometimes we saw it was really hot and really sunny, and then other times it was really overcast. And of course, with the last race going to pretty much night time, these guys have got to obviously get used to the different conditions. Tyre life isn't something that really comes into effect though with these shorter races, is it?
No, it's not. It's not at all. Obviously, if you're absolutely caning it off of every corner, it can come into play in the last two laps, but it's not really anything that... It's definitely not like endurance type stuff where you're triple stinting tyres and things like that. So, yeah, it should still be interesting for the guys. I'm interested to see how they navigate the circuit with the change of weather conditions that we have here on iRacing now. And obviously the night race at the end is always an exciting one.
Certainly is, and of course the reverse grids do contribute to the mayhem as such, as we're just looking at some lovely scenic shots now as the cars complete qualifying. Currently it's Alex Cherney sitting at the top of the pile for Swift Cooper Esports. Previous champion of the Winter Series, Jason Cooper, on your screen there in the number 1 machine, his teammate. Currently both on the front row, and then it's 2 Excite Energy cars behind them. So once again, Tom, it's the Excite cars and the Swift Cooper cars that are sort of slightly outshining the SimLab guys who line up 6th, 7th and 10th at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen that throughout the season so far, and we saw it last season, didn't we? The Excite boys and the Swift Cooper Esports boys seem to have outshined other teams, mainly SimLab, who we thought were obviously after their great dominance as that Momo team that they were. And now they've come in and they've just sort of been thereabouts. I mean, Jamie Ayres has probably always been one to watch and things like that. We know he's probably one of their quickest drivers out there. But it's going to be interesting to see how they really try and pile the pressure onto Excite and Swift Cooper Esports, because at the moment, as you know, they're the team to beat.
Yeah, they certainly are. They were quite the powerhouse last time round, and they're showing it once again. I mean, Jason Cooper has actually put in the fastest lap of the session at the moment. He's gone 2/10 clear of his teammate. So he's, sorry, not 2/10, it's just 1/10. It was the last times that I was comparing. But that should be the end of the session then. And for the first time out of the 4 races that we've got this evening, we should have a grid momentarily. Of course, keep your eye on the little blue and green markings near the drivers' names, which do identify which class they're in. Blue is the pro drivers, green being the AM drivers. And looking down the order, Tom, it seems that quite a lot of the pro drivers, well, actually, and the AMs, now that I scroll down our timing screen, have been excluded from qualifying. So there's quite a lot of guys that will be making their way through.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that one. You've got the likes of Kip Stevens, Dave Hampson as well. And then Adam Delmont for Excite Racing. A couple of Excite Racing boys in there, actually. So it's going to be interesting to see them trying to pick off people as they obviously move through the AM grid. Ones to watch on AM, your own Ursam's normally all right thereabouts. Tyler Lugo Vickery can sometimes pull up a bit of a fight as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for the guys. And then they're obviously going to be trying to make their way towards the pro grid as well. But as I say, Jason Cooper, Alex Cherney, Brian Holmes, Adam McNally and Marcelo Pagnon, with Steve Hefford following him as well. That's going to be an interesting start to the race, isn't it? As we give you your grid then, Jason Cooper is on pole with a 2:03.4. Behind him, Alex Cherney. Brian Holmes lines up in 3rd with Adam McNally in 4th. Marcelo Pagnon in 5th. Steve Hefford 6th. Jamie Ayres in 7th. Elmar Elacotti is in 8th. Ashley Beard is in 9th for Excite Racing. Pete Van Gaal in 10th. 11th is Abdulkir Al Amri. 12th is James McRitchie. 13th place is Luke Cooper, with 14th being Charlie Summers. 15th Cesare Rizzo. 16th Stuart Dick. And then the first of your AM drivers, Joe McDonald, leads the way for AM then in 17th place. 18th Billy Rose. 19th Nick McCarron. 20th Jeroen Ursum. Ralph Cullinan then is in 21st. Rob Graham in 22nd, Lorne Murray in 23rd, Carl Hardy in 24th, and then Michael Barry in 25th. Nice to see him back on the grid. 26th, Scott Malcolm. 27th, Stephen Cooley. And then in 28th place, we've got Martin Sampson, sorry. 29th, Michael Wortman. 30th, Andy Maxwell. 31st, Mikey Key. 32nd, Tyler Lugo Vickery. 33rd, Dale Bennison. 34th, Dave Hampson. Nils Cartensen in 35th. Kip Stevens in 36th. 37th, Martin Plowman. Jack Ashton in 38th. 39th, Adam Delmont. Roy Ververke in 40th. 41st is Craig Jones, and Benjamin Mears in 42nd, and David Ayres in 43rd. So Chaz, should be an interesting one, that, and a nice big grid for us to start this race.
Yeah, 43 cars is a really decent size for this one, on quite a tight and twisty circuit, of course. But the revs are rising in the background. You can hear them getting ready to go, but as you say, it's going to be a good one. Lights are out, away we go. And oh, it's a bad start there for Brian Holmes from McNally. His teammate gets a really good run, and Cherney side by side with Cooper down towards turn 1. Panion's going to hopefully make his way through as well. Marcelo's always been quick that we've seen. Look at this massive field streaming down to turn 1. Oh, 3 wide there between Panion and the 2 Excite cars. They were very close together, nearly making contact. 2 wheels for McNally and he's off. Is he going to come back on across the traffic? No, he does a great job at saving it. Everyone avoids him. And from what it looks like so far, Tom, I've not seen anyone really fly down the timing screen. A couple of guys lost a few places. Dale Bennison's lost 7 places so far, so not the best start for him. There he is in the number 37 car. But really clean one to get the night underway.
Yeah, nice and clean as all the guys make their way through. A couple of guys pushing it out wide there as they all come down to start. Well, about halfway through their first lap, aren't they? Cooper leads away then. Jason Cooper followed by Cherney and Brian Holmes as well. Marcelo Pagna behind him in 4th, and then Jamie Ayres is in 5th. So the guys really rattling on, but if you could just see Cooper and Cherney, they're really starting to pull away so far. And I think they're going to be the guys to watch at this present time. Chaz, we've got a car round. Yeah,
Pete Van Gool is the victim once again here. Seems that he's not really one to getting much luck. Look at the esports, the Swift Cooper esports cars, absolutely going for it over the chicane. That's the thing with the MX5, it does have a very soft suspension setup, so you can really launch it over the curbs and not worry about damaging the thing. Some of them too wide going into there, some of the guys further down the order. Great battle in between them all. Looking good so far. We see then Alex Cherney, 2nd place at the moment in the number 6 car. He finished 6th in the Winter Series, hence why he's got that number. But it's his teammate and Winter Series champion Jason Cooper leading the way. Then down the straight, side by side, Brian Holmes making up for his poor start. Here he goes. He's going to be on the inside for turn 1. He's doing a fine job at the moment though, Tom, keeping the pressure on, but Marcelo Panion's the one he's got to worry about coming through from behind.
Yeah, he has definitely. We know how quick Marcelo can be. Of course, Brian is now coming under pressure from the Swift Cooper Esports boys behind him, and he's got 1 to catch as well. Don't rule out SimLab though. We know how quick they can be when they get the right setup on the right day. Jamie Ayres and Steve Hefford, probably their top 2 drivers, are out there at the moment, hunting the pack down at the front. But Cooper's got it all to do, and he's also got it all to lose as well as they go hard on the brakes into the hairpin. Keeping it nice and tight does Cooper, pushing it out wide. You want to be careful of that AstroTurf as you go down there. Up into 4th gear then for Cherney. So about 140 kilometres an hour now, and it just goes to show how much grunt these MX5s have got when they need it, just to push it up that hill. And he's all over the back of Brian Holmes in the number 58 Excite car at the moment is Cherney, and he's going to be looking to make a move pretty soon. We know the slipstream isn't as strong here, is it, Chaz? We've seen it quite a lot at bigger tracks, but here, bit of a shorter straight for this one, so it doesn't really come into play as much.
No, definitely not. But that's kind of the beauty of this circuit as well, I suppose. It means that a lot of the closer racing is sort of provided by it naturally, and of course, we like to see these sort of more what we would call skill tracks, where it's not just down to the slipstream to keep it all nice and bunched up for us. Great shot here on board with Cherney chasing down Brian Holmes into the final sector of the lap. They're going to be, I think at this point, Cherney's going to be hoping that he can battle with Holmes and take the pressure off his teammate Jason Cooper, who wants to obviously try and run away with this win. Nice door-to-door stuff from these guys. Around the last 2 corners, Marcelo Panion's going to hopefully get a run on Holmes here as well. And the 2 SimLab boys, like you were saying, Tom, waiting in the wings now to try and make the moves. Holmes tries to go down the inside, hits the wall. And I was speaking to Steve Hefford after last week, and he was saying that these cars, you really can't take them for granted. They are made of cracker bread. So as soon as you bump the front end or anything, you lose so much speed, and that really might not help Brian here. I know it's killed his momentum, which is probably why he's lost the place to Panion there in this instance, but yeah, he's really got to be careful. But great to see these guys chucking the car in so hard. Look at the body roll on it, really launching it through these chicane-style sections here. It looks really good around here, doesn't it?
It does, it looks fantastic. I mean, it just goes to show how hard the boys are actually pushing. Doesn't seem to have affected Brian Holmes that much. He's got some damage to the front right wing as we look a little bit back now, actually. Delmont going around there, and he's picking his way through the field, Chaz. He's up 15 places on my timing screen at the moment. And he's going to be looking to make up more, I should think. And all the guys passing through nicely. We haven't had a big incident so far. And he's chasing down Wortman at the moment, is Delmont. And then he's got Stevens right behind him. And we know how quick that Stevens can be in the right car and in the right scenario. So those guys will be looking to make their way through the field. And we've said it a long time, Chaz. Sometimes, I know obviously a lot of race series, including real life stuff, tends to focus on the front pack, but really with this series, it's the midfield that can sometimes bring the most exciting racing, can't it?
Yeah, a lot of the time the bridge is gapped a little bit by way up. Sorry, nearly went. Sorry, Delmont nearly going into the back of Wortman there. I was going to say it really bridges the gap for the pros and the AMs a lot of the time in the midfield, and you see a really good mix. Ralph Cullinan, of course, leading the AM battle at the moment, had Rob Graham. Really good scrap here between Charlie Summers and Adam McNally. They've both got very bright roll cages and wheels, so it's nice and simple to tell them apart. But yeah, you're perfectly right, Tom. We see a lot of good fighting all the way up and down the order every single night that we cover these guys. It's always great to watch. The lead battles usually are so intense, though. We don't often see people running away with the results, so that's what keeps it alive and kicking. And you can see now James McRitchie just ahead of these boys, doing a fine job for asymmetric. Have to give his teammate a shout out as well, Abdulkir Al Amri. He's new to the season. He's listed as a pro now. He was actually listed as an AM last week, so it was his first week, but yeah, his very strong performance soon highlighted that. And he's doing very, very well this week, actually, ahead of, well, I think he qualified ahead of his teammate, but that isn't the case now. He seems to have dropped a few places. Nils Carstensen there, you can see, with probably one of the most race driver-like names I've ever heard, is propping up the top 20. Well, he was. Now it's now it's Stuart Dick in his place. I do apologise, Nils. Oh, there he is. He's back now. So I'll try and refrain from commentators cursing him, as Hefford is dropping down the order, Tom.
Yeah, not too sure what's happened to Hefford there. He's now down into 16th place. He's lost 16 places. Here's a replay then. Wow, he got massively out of shape, didn't he? Not sure too much what caused that. He was way out of shape on the grass. Here we go. We've gone back again. No, that's him again. So he's down in 16th. There we go. Alex has got it for us. Comes through the chicane, chasing down Jamie Ayres. Just pushes it. Wow, way out wide. It looked to me, Chaz, it was just major understeer there and a possible, maybe a hardware failure. Didn't look too bad though. And it was either out braking himself or the wheel just didn't want to turn for him.
Yeah, it seemed like the wheel sort of stuck at one amount of lock and didn't really do anything else, you know what I mean? He just didn't have any sort of response from it by the look of it. Not quite sure there, but he's carried on though. He's still on it, is Mr. Hefford. But this is a great little display once again by the Swift Cooper Esports boys at the front of the field, doing an absolutely awesome job. 1, 2 and 3 with Brian Holmes at the back, and then Jamie Ayres trying to wait in the wings. But 8 minutes passed in this race now, on to lap 5. Of course, the first race of the night is 15 minutes and timed. After that, they just set it to however many laps the first race was for the other 3. And of course, if you are enjoying the broadcast, do check us out on Apex Racing TV as well. We do plenty more broadcasts in the week. There's a very wide range of different commentators. There's Alex Cherney, really out of shape there in the first few corners. And don't forget, we do stream on Facebook and Twitch as well as YouTube, so you can find us pretty much anywhere, depending on what your preferred platform is. And, well, really, Tom, at the moment, I think it's going to be between these Swift Cooper Esports boys, but I really wouldn't know who to call it on who could be winning.
Yeah, you've got Brian Holmes there and Jamie Ayres waiting in the wings, haven't you? The only problem for Jamie Ayres and Brian Holmes is they haven't got their wingmen up there with them. And Panion and Cherney are also some of the hardest drivers to pass in the series, and they're great defenders as well. It's going to be an interesting one, this, as they come down to the end. Looks like Brian Holmes might have got alongside Panion there. He does. He has a little bit of a nose, but he's obviously on the outside of that corner. So Panion takes it again. So that damage earlier from Brian Holmes doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. Back up the hill they go then towards the really quite difficult chicane. Brian Holmes has another little look up the outside of Panion. Can't seem to get it done again, and then just bouncing off the curbs. Really, really great setups that these guys work months on end to try and perfect. But as we come down to the last two corners of the lap then, Brian Holmes is all over the back of Marcelo Panion, and this is going to go one of two ways. Either Brian Holmes goes past, or it all ends in tears, and we hope it doesn't for your viewing pleasure. Really, really nice lines through there. The guy's keeping it really tight. Cherney puts one wheel on the grass, kicking up dust in the face of his teammate, and Brian Holmes and Jamie Ayres. And they come across the line then to start lap number 6. We're 10 minutes into this race, and it's absolutely flying by. I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are in the commentary booth. As Panion moves to the inside then, he's got the slipstream on his teammate, Alex Cherney. Can he get the move done? He's already ahead. Cherney's going to have to go late on the brakes to try and make it stick, which he can't do. Brian Holmes snaking all over, as he's all over the back of Cherney, and he's the man he's got to pass now. And Chaz, this is really heating up to be a brilliant end to race number 1.
Yeah, definitely. They're really fighting hard here, but it's nice and respectful at the same time, though. This is really a great display, and what we want to see in this championship more and more. I mean, we have seen, as these guys race for longer and longer with each other, the standards get higher and higher. Brian Holmes putting his nose down the inside then. Not quite getting it done on Cherney. Cherney, of course, opting for a orange roll cage and wheels this season. He was running black previously. But now this has brought Jamie Ayres into the fight in the number 5 SimLab machine. He's going to be down the inside of Brian Holmes. Just slots in behind him there, but he's still got a couple of minutes to get this done, Tom. I reckon 2 more laps after this one. It's about 2 minutes a lap at the moment. So we may actually... we could get another... yeah, I'd say 2 more after this one, so we'll keep our eye on that. You can see the banners over the windscreens on these cars. Little blue highlights at the side do match the classification of that driver, so any drivers with the green will have the little green strip on the left hand side, which means they're in the AM category. Ralph Cullinan still leading that. Carl Hardy, Malcolm Rose chasing him down with Rob Graham, of course. It was a really good... I mean, every time we look down this list of drivers, Tom, it's a really strong lineup in this series, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. These are some of the best sim racers that come out of Europe and the UK, as well as you've got some guys further afoot, America and Australia and things. They often pop up to join the BSR MX5 series and, of course, other BSR races. So, yeah, honestly, I think you guys have got a treat this evening. As I said, these are guys that are some of the best in Britain and the best in Europe that are racing out there at the moment. As Brian Holmes then right in the slipstream of Alex Cherney. Let's see if he can do it then. He's taken to the outside line. Cherney goes in to defend, and they tip into the corner. Cherney's still got the inside line though, and Brian Holmes really can't find a way past. Although Cherney got up on 2 wheels, and that won't have helped his run out of that corner. And I kind of wish that we were blasting through the old Tamburello corner as it was once known, but alas, it's long gone. But this track still provides some brilliant racing, and Brian Holmes, what a run out that chicane. Can he make it round the outside into this hairpin? I don't think he can, although he goes nice and wide, tips the car in, hits the apex, on board with him then, and he's got the run on Alex Cherney. It seems he's got a nose ahead. He moves up into 3rd place. The pro driver now and race winner really pushing hard for Excite Energy as he tips it into the next corner then, pushing out 9 wide. He's hit contact, the car goes round wide, and he's managed to save it. And what a brilliant save from Brian Holmes that was. And judging from the next camera angle, Chaz, you can tell that Cherney might have hit him there.
I'm really not sure who hit who there. I think Ayres might have actually got involved and given him a tip on the left rear, but that was a hell of a move by Brian. Here we go. Oh yeah, he just got bumped in the rear actually. I stand mistaken. What a save though. Oh, wow. How they didn't make contact the second time as well, I don't know, but that was really, really feisty stuff there. Brian Holmes, what a move to complete that is, though. As we look back to the front, well, we did. Rob Graham here battling with Carl Hardy, who is obviously a fan of the colour green. Steve Hefford involved here as well. This is for second in the AM category between Graham and Hardy. So they'll be hoping that Hefford doesn't interfere with their plans too much. Just at the bottom of your screen, they saw Ralph Cullinan leading the AM category go through the bottom of your shot. And Graham goes ahead in the 22 car. Oh, Hardy out of the way. And Steve Hefford now between the two of them. So the scrap has been subdued somewhat for now. But you've got to think that if Hefford gets ahead and holds Graham up a little bit here, it could work into the hands of Carl Hardy here, Tom. Maybe he's playing it smart.
Yeah, it could do, couldn't it? And Hardy's just going to be... Oh, and it does! It actually does! Chaz, commentator's curse if I've ever seen one. And that's perfect commentator's curse there. Not really sure how you manage that. As we look a bit further towards the front, then we'll go back to that incident. Ayres goes up the inside of Brian Holmes to take third place. Cherney falling back a little bit though, Chaz, although Jamie Ayres is now on the kitty litter, and that's going to affect him. Cherney, that's not going to do him any favours either, is it? Going out on the grass into the hairpin, that's slowing him down even more. So Jamie Ayres takes third place, and I really don't think this one's over for this lap, Chaz.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I'm really, really sorry to Rob Graham. I'm not quite sure how I did that, but yeah. Anyway, Brian Holmes then losing out to Jamie Ayres. Fantastic little charge towards the end of this race by Jamie. He's obviously been observing these guys throughout the whole race and just gone, oh, there you go. I'll take that, boys. Thank you. So these guys are going to be pushing to get back past him. You can see Jamie really pushing as well. Look at that line through there by Cherney. Brilliant stuff. Really gets the car straightened up as early as possible. Brian's going to try and squeeze him over to the left. He's just in front. I'd say that. He's actually down the inside of Jamie Ayres. I thought he was side by side with Cherney. Oh, Ayres is going to come back over. Somehow they don't make contact, but you've got to think Cherney might get a slowdown there for being out that far wide. Not sure whether that'll affect him or not. I'll have to see. It doesn't look like he's slowing down that much, but coming into the final two corners then, there's Marcelo Pagnon in second place, and there is the number one car in position one at the end of race one. Fantastic stuff. Once again, Jason Cooper is going to take your first race winner of the night. Swift Cooper Esports stamping their authority on this series once again. Marcelo Pagnon comes home in second. Great drive by him. It's going to be Brian Holmes in third place. Alex Cherney gets away with it and finishes in fourth, with Jamie Ayres in fifth. And then it's two more Swift Cooper Esports cars. They just don't stop coming here, do they? It's Luke Cooper and then Charlie Summers. Here's Steve Hefford down the inside of Adam Delmont into the last two corners. These guys are both veterans of this as well. Oh, a little bit wide by Hefford there. And Delmont's going to be on the inside now, coming to the line. This is going to be close. This is going to be really close. Who's going to get this one? I think Delmont's just going to edge ahead, you know. And he does. Just has him on the line. Brilliant stuff by Delmont to fight back there. Love it. Ralph Cullinan, 10th place overall as well, Tom. That's a great finish to win the AM category, that.
Yeah, fantastic stuff by Ralph. He would have really wanted that result clothing as well. A brilliant result for them in the AM category. First, second and third in the AM category for result clothing there, with Ralph Cullinan, Carl Hardy and Scott Malcolm. So I'm sure they'll be cheering from the rooftops for that one, Chaz. They've struggled in previous seasons, and you know, they've had a few good results here and there, but I think they'll be really happy with that one.
Yeah, they really will. It was just a nice, sort of straightforward race for them. Obviously, a little bit of battle in between them, but they help each other out when they're on track as well, the Swift Cooper Esports boys, because a lot of teams, you'll see them sort of stay single file, and sometimes that can hold you up if you don't try and overtake each other, but if you do it in a way where it doesn't kill all of your momentum, then it helps you out in the long run, and they've done a really, really good job of it. You can just see the last few cars sort of dotting around on the circuit at the moment, but yeah, Jason Cooper, another absolutely emphatic victory there. And some good battling all the way down, like we always see. Just looking in the YouTube chat, we've got a suggestion, what would you call it? A guess? An estimation? What is it when he preempts it? I've lost all words here, boys. I can't English.
A prediction, I believe.
A prediction, yeah. There we go. Alex Simpson with the thesaurus out. So, yeah, prediction from your own Ursum is 25. While you're here, Alex, I know you've been here all along, but verbally, What did you find of that one? The first race.
Yeah, good first race. Pretty much what we come to expect from Imola. I think the reverse grid's where it's going to get really tasty. I think so. Some interesting choices of potential moves. Brian into the wall, solid wall there, mate. And all he was doing, but yeah, that hurt him a little bit, damaged the car. I think he might have been a bit closer to the front two, had he not had that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they all go in next race.
And in a few moments' time, we should have the results from the first race, of course.
Yeah, that would be useful, wouldn't it? Let me click that button.
Oh, there we go. There they are then. I thought we were just waiting for people to finish. So, Tom, if you'd like to do the honours, my friend.
So Jason Cooper then takes a fantastic race win, really conserved behind the wheel and did everything that he needed to take the win from Marcelo Pagnon, his teammate who finishes P2, so that's the Swift Cooper Esports P1 and P2. Brian Holmes for Excite Racing finishing P3 to round out your podium with Alex Cherney in 4th, and then Jamie Ayres is in 5th. 6th place Luke Cooper, Charlie Summers in 7th, Adam McNally in 8th, and James McRitchie in 9th. Ralph Cullinan takes your AM race win ahead of his teammate in 2nd, Carl Hardy, who finished 11th overall. Adam Delmont in 12th, with Steve Hefford in 13th after falling off. He'll be looking to come back in the next few races. Scott Malcolm rounds out your podium for AM, so that's a result clothing, as I said, 1, 2, 3, and he finishes 14th overall. Billy Rose in 15th, Benjamin Mears in 16th, Abdulkir Al Amri in 17th, sorry. 18th is Jack Ashton. 19th place we had Nils Carstensen. 20th Kip Stevens. Michael Wortman in 21st. Andy Maxwell in 22nd. Martin Plowman in 23rd. Jeroen Ursum 24th. Roy Ververke is in 25th. Rob Graham 26th. Tyler Lugo Vickery in 27th. Mikey Key finished 28th. Lorne Murray in 29th. Dave Hampson in 30th. Craig Jones 31st. Michael Barry in 32nd. David Ayres in 33rd. Dale Bennison in 34th, Cesare Rizzo in 35th, Nick McCarron finished 36th. He'll be looking to come back as well. Both those boys, SimLab cars, way down the order. Stuart Dick in 37th, Martin Sampson in 38th, 39th, Stephen Cooley, 40th was Ashley Beard, and then your non-finishers, Joe McDonald, Elmar Elacotti, and Pete Van Gool.
Thanks very much, Tom. Much appreciated. And for the first time tonight, then, Mr. Simpson shall see whether he can make Jeroen Ursum's dreams come true, and we will bring in the spinny wheel.
I've done that already, surely.
Yeah, probably.
I know he's a super fan, so yeah. Here we go. Well, I'm afraid not getting the love tonight. 30th it's going to finish on.
Okay, and that would put Dave Hampson on pole position alongside Lorne Murray. Mikey Key and Tyler Lugo Vickery, who is making his return tonight, will start 4th, and Rob Graham will be 5th on the grid. So, nice little mixture of the AMs there. Dave Hampson, I believe, driving for SimLab, so he's going to be my guess to win that one, because he's been very, very quick before. But if you join me, Alex and Tom on the iRacing Esports Network in about 10-15 minutes' time, we'll find out as we broadcast race 2. Don't go away. Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and Imola for the BSR MX5 Pro Series. Chaz Draycott here with Tom Jacobs and Alex Simpson for race 2 out of 4 this evening. And Tom, if you can do the honours, we've got the grid on screen now.
Dave Hampson on pole then, followed by Lorne Murray, Mikey Keat, Tyler Lugo Vickery, Rob Graham in 5th, Roy Verke in 6th, Jeroen Ursum 7th, Martin Plowman in 8th with Andy Maxwell in 9th, 10th is Michael Wortman, 11th Kip Stevens, 12th Nils Carstensen, 13th place Jack Ashton, Abdelkir Al Amri in 14th, 15th Benjamin Mears, Billy Rose 16th, Scott Malcolm 17th, Steve Heffert 18th, 19th is Adam Delmont, Carl Hardy in 20th, and the revs do rise then. Everyone on the track, and lights out, and away we go then. Everyone puts their foot to the floor. Really good start by Dave Hampson there. Got a real nice clean getaway from Lorne Murray as they all charge down towards the first corner then. Dave Hampson is going to have to defend from Lorne Murray. Mikey Key there in P3. He's got Lugo Vickery there for company as well, as all the guys fight their way through the grid then. The Pro boys will be looking to make up a few places. Kip Stevens currently in 7th. He'll be a fierce one to try and keep behind you as they all flow through. No real incidents as yet, as all the boys get very, very wide out of there, don't they, Chaz? And I've got a feeling that this is going to be one for the Pro drivers to pick off a few of the slower AMs. Yeah,
definitely, but they've got to exercise caution and patience in this, as Jeroen Ursum, I think, has just fell foul of it at the hairpin. He's around. New driver to the Excite Energy Esports team. I believe he's in the Excite Academy team. Nice little spin there to get the car going again. Unfortunately, though, that means that we won't be seeing Alex's face and the spinny wheel on the side of that car anymore. Real shame, but it's at least it got exercised for 1 week, and we certainly did appreciate it. But Lorne Murray now, head of the AMs at the moment in the number 55 car for Auto McNock Hill, and he's holding off Mikey Key, Tyler Lugo Vickery and Rob Graham. So looks like it's going to be a good scrap between these boys. Thomas, going down the order, we've got Mick Barry and Ralph Cullinan, who won the AM category in race 1.
Yeah, unfortunate for those boys. Not really too sure what happened there. I'm sure we'll get a replay in due course. But, those boys falling down the order, not what they would have wanted for race 2. But now they've got the chance to pick their way through as you go back to the replay then. Oh, Brian Holmes got caught up with Cullinan there. It just looked like Cullinan just come down on him a bit, Chaz. Didn't really see him in his mirror and span him round. So now he's got all the work to do.
Yeah, it's a shame though with incidents like that. A bit of an innocent party really, but when they're bunching up like they are, it's quite easy to do sometimes. Just having a bit of an issue with my my timing screen at the moment, boys. I do apologise.
As well.
Got, I'm not sure whether you're having any issues with it, Alex. I've got things fluttering around a lot at the moment.
Yep, and I'm stuck on the replay screen. Oh, there we go.
Well, hey, there we go. Wonderful stuff. Lorne Murray, we'll look at Jack Ashton. He's up to 3rd place now in the Excite Energy Esports car. He has flown up the field. Really good drive by him at the moment. Getting quite a lot of places. Oh, look at the Automac boys here. There's actually quite a bunch of them together here. So for Wortman, who's going to try and get past Mears, for Verke and Graham, it's not going to be the easiest of tasks if these boys have learnt anything from watching the Swift Cooper Esports boys, Tom, because I think in the last couple of rounds we could very easily say that they've displayed teamwork and sort of well choreographed driving in probably the best way we've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? And that's what teams are there for, really. You look after your own, and that's the way to get results at the end of the day. I mean, we see it a lot from Excite, don't they? They bunch up together out on track and then use that to their advantage as they go and make inroads to World Championships. We see it in real life racing as well. A prime example with Mercedes, with Lewis and Valtteri last season working together as a team to fend off those pesky Ferraris, which is a shame, but there we go. But yeah, you see it a lot of time in real motorsport and iRacing, teams working together as all the guys come down back down the hill. Really difficult braking zone, that is. You don't realise how steep it is until you're in the car, and if you do out-brake yourself, you end up in the gravel trap. As we see Benjamin Mears there going a little bit wide out that corner. But he's defending well from Wortman at the moment. Billy Rose behind him in the 444 Northern Lights racing car, trying to make inroads on them as well, but there's a bit of a gap forming under pressure from Abdelkir Al Amri, and those guys are now side by side going towards turn number 1 then. Looks like Al Amri has got the move done though, really nice and late on the brakes from Al Amri there, tips it over the curb nicely, and that's another place made up for him, Chaz, and now he's currently sitting P3 in Pro and looking to track down Jack Ashton. We've got a car off in the gravel trap.
Oh, just trying to have a look at who that was. He's going down the order here. Oh, that was Mick Barry there. Marcelo Panion's in the middle of the road. That's down at turn 1. There was an incident a bit later than that as well. Really, really not good there. Not sure how he ended up there, but well, it's not an ideal situation for him by any stretch of the imagination. But Lorne Murray then, with Rob Graham and Ben Mears, they're now the top 3 in the AM category at the moment. So doing a fine job as it stands. Down into the double right-hander. Very difficult corner in the MX5, Tom, because it doesn't really like turning on the brakes too much, does it?
No, it doesn't. And we've said it before, it's an easy car to drive, but a hard one to master. And going through there, that really is a downforce corner. It's a lot easier in the likes of the F3 car and F1 stuff. Even GT with a lot of wing on it. It's quite an easy corner to do. But in things like the MX5 and even the Spec Racer Ford, if you can even get it up to speed to get round there, it can be quite a frightening corner. And this one as well, as I said before, as they come down the hill, we've got a diamond formation behind them. Of the Stevens, Delmont, Al Amri, and there looks like there might be a falling down the order as well as Wortman together, and that is Wortman parked on the infield, and it looked quite like an accident happened. I saw of it, just caught a quick glimpse. If you look at Nick McCarron there, and I just want to talk a little bit about they've always been thereabouts. I mean, they dominated, well, I think it was maybe season 2. I can't remember now, I'm getting my numbers confused. But since Excite and Swift Cooper Esports have come on really strong, they've had a couple of race wins here and there, but it just seems like they've got a lot more of a challenge to contend with now, and it just seems a little bit like Excite and Swift Cooper Esports have got the edge on them. Yeah,
it does a bit, to be fair. It's not been the easiest of rides for them. They've really been pushing though, but back from when they were in the Momo team, they really did dominate, like you say. But it's interesting to see how the tables get turned like that sometimes though, and I mean sometimes it's better for things to be like that. I mean, it adds a bit more to the excitement. As we look at Alex Cherney now trying to dispatch of McRitchie. He's got his teammates Summers and Stevens behind him as we go down towards the tricky double right-hander here, which I can never remember the name of. Back up the hill, it's so difficult to get that apex right, but when you get a really good run through there, it's one of those really sort of rewarding corners where you feel like some sort of god when you've made it right, especially in a car like the MX5. And then through little chicane at the end here, really chucking it over there is Cherney, all 4 wheels off the ground, I think there, Tom. It was a bit exuberant, but exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, you've really got to throw this car around, isn't it? And it's like you said, it's a real momentum car, this. Keeping it high in the rev range, and you have to choose your gears, really be really selective with them to get the most out of it. Not a lot of power, these cars. They're about 200 horsepower thereabouts. They're nice and light, but definitely not the fastest things on iRacing by any stretch of the imagination. As all the guys now move into a formation, then the Pro Boys have really caught up with the AMs towards the front of the grid. SimLab and Excite though, they're battling it out of the front, but this is the battle that we're really looking forward to. Cherney is in there as well. You've got Ayres, they're pretty much 4 wide for a second there, it looked like. Coming down towards turn number 1 then, this is either going to end in tears. There all gets touched, he goes in really deep, and he's done a Max Verstappen at Mexico 2017, gone straight over the grass. And he's managed to keep that car going, but I imagine, Chaz, he's going to have a monumental slowdown with that.
Well, that was a lovely little insight into your glossary of Formula 1 information there, to be fair. It was a very, very niche reference, but fair play. But yeah, you are right, it was a bit of a Verstappen. not sure quite how much it's affected him. We've got diamond formation going on here into the left-hander. 3 wide. Delmont on the outside, Viverke in the middle, and down the inside, Charlie Summers, the main beneficiary. We've still got 3 wide here. It's like the red arrows here, trying to change formation. Nearly 4 wide. Delmont making contact with Viverke. Oh, and these boys are really, really doing well not to completely trip over each other. Summers leading it. Then, oh, Journey's hit Delmont. Delmont's going to be completely around. I think his teammate hit him. I think one of the other Excite boys actually did clip him there. Real shame if they did. Delmont gets going again. There's Joe McDonald. Bit of a nightmare for those boys there. But yeah, we look a bit further down the order. There's Plowman from the Fury Sim Sports. Teammate of Dan Blake, I believe, who has been doing a good job with the Monday MX5 Cup that some of these boys run in as well. There's contact there. I believe that's Erlikot. I can never say his name correctly, I really do apologise. It's Erlikot, I believe. But yeah, he got involved in some sort of incident there. I think it was McDonald that he was with, but we look back at this pack once again. Jason Cooper in there, Kip Stevens, number 28 is Ashley Beard. Luke Cooper is the one further towards the back of this group. Roy Viverke left out to dry by these pro drivers there. Roy did a really good job last season though, Tom. I think he was like 4th overall, well, I think it was 3rd overall in the entire championship, or 4th. I think it was 4th because he's wearing the number 4 on his car, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I think he was. He had a brilliant season last time out. He really has become a force to be reckoned with, especially in the AM category. We've seen him make some real inroads and to becoming a better driver overall, and it really does show for him. So they're doing a great job out there at the moment, especially in AM. He's currently sitting in P4 if you're a Roy Viverke fan. As you can see on your timing screen on the left, as these boys, number 28 of Ashley Beard, trying so hard to get past Kip Stevens. But we know how good a defender Kip Stevens can be as they go into the hairpin. Another tricky corner. It really isn't the easiest of circuits, this. Even in some really high downforce grip stuff, can always catch you out. Up the hill they go then. And Ashley Beard now has got Luke Cooper for comfort behind him, really trying to make inroads to get past him. Red roll cages ablaze. And this could all go down to the wire here as well. We're currently on lap 6 here at Imola. Race number 2 of the evening. We've got another 2 to go after this, and I hope you guys are home enjoying it as much as we are. It really is a great spectacle of sim racing this. As I said before, some of the best guys in Europe in this series, and it really does go to show because they bring some really exciting racing. Ashley Beard coming under increasing pressure now to look a bit further towards the front. Jamie Ayres currently ahead of James McRitchie and starting to pull away from him now. Richie got Summers for company as well as they come down towards the hill, hard into the braking zone. Got to take as much of the track as you dare. McRitchie's taken a little bit more than he needed to there actually by putting one wheel on the grass. There's a bit of commentator's curse for you there as well. And they go around to start lap number 7 now. Hampson still leading from Jack Ashton. And this is proving to be a really great race, isn't it, Chaz? It was a bit lax at the start of the race, and now towards the end, it's really starting to become a really good one with some really fierce battles out.
Yeah, we always see this from races 2, 3, and 4 over the course of the night. Things get nice and feisty for us, and we of course hope you're all enjoying watching at home. Really good scraps. It's good when the AMs and the pros come together, and you see a difference in the sort of the speed and the different approach as well that the pros take, because a lot of the time it's easy for them to get a bit overly feisty as some of the guys go on a bit of a Paris-Dakar. That was Jamie Ayres and McRitchie, who's furiously defending from Summers here. He's doing a good job. Oh, a bit of AstroTurf there for McRitchie. That's going to kill his momentum up the hill. And obviously he doesn't have to just worry about Summers. He's got Cherney as well, so it's going to be a tough, well, last sort of lap and a half for him. They're clipping the grass on the outside going into there as well. Surely that's going to be dangerous, Tom, because, oh, well, it certainly is, as Cherney displays that no end, and that's a big off. Really big off. I'm not sure whether he hit the wall on the other side, but he did a good job of keeping it out there. Spins it around. You can see one of the lovely effects that you get on iRacing here, where the gravel actually does end up on the tyres, and grass as well. Nice little thing to add to the massive list that we of the features that we all love from iRacing. There's James McRitchie there, now running after Jamie Ayres, but real shame for Cherney there. He was running well, but it's not like there's no other Swift Cooper esports on the track, Tom, because well, they're usually up there or thereabouts, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I think they really are the team to beat at the moment. Excite's really snapping at their heels, but I just feel a little bit like they've got the edge just slightly over Excite at the moment of Swift Cooper Esports. I don't know whether it's in the setup or the drivers, but they really have got it bob on at the moment. And I think they're my favourites to win the championship at the moment. They did so in great form last season round. But here we go then. We've got Cooper starting to make the inroads on McRitchie, Summers and Ayres. We've got a car on the inside stopped. I wouldn't want to be stopped there if I were you.
No.
Definitely not. The car's really pushing along at that speed. They're right up in top gear. And coming down now then. I just want to see what's going to happen here, because I think this is all going to come to an interesting climax. Jamie Ayres then all over the back of Rob Graham. Sorry, Rich Graham there. Rob Graham there. But he's coming out to McRitchie, goes up the inside, and what a move on Jamie Ayres that was. If he can get the run, Ayres seems to get a better run out of that, but Charlie Summers as well, he's in there, and he's made the move on McRitchie. Got a great run out of there as well. McRitchie, for all his efforts in making that move, Chaz, has seemed to have lost out. Charlie Summers still on the inside though. McRitchie being pushed out very wide onto the AstroTurf. That's not where he wanted to be, because there's not much grip out there. Coming back down the hill, they're still in formation, tipping it in there, nearly touch, and they all seem to get away with it. But what an outstanding bit of driving that was from all four of them.
Yeah, that was great, really feisty stuff. Jamie Ayres has just taken the run and left him with it. Brilliant stuff from Jamie. But McRitchie, like I say, he made the move, really brave, but it didn't pay off for him. Rob Graham there, a bit of contact with Summers. Summers sideways on exit as well. McRitchie trying to get involved. He's going to make it 3 wide here, isn't he, down to this last few corners. And speaking of, my tip to win the race is just about to win the race. That's the 888 car of Dave Hampson in the SimLab car. Really nice, clean drive from Dave. Very well-deserved win as well. Makes a good move over to that team. Very strong performance from him. And Jack Ashton, second place for Excite Energy iRacing team. And it's going to be a 1-2 in the AM category for Automech Knock Hill. Great stuff by those boys. Lorne Murray crossing the line ahead of his teammate Benjamin Mears. And Jamie Ayres comes home 5th. And the winner of this battle, McRitchie, just ahead of Graham, who makes it a 1-2-3 for Automech Knock Hill in AM. That's great for them. And once again, strong stuff from the Swift Cooper Esports boys and Charlie Summers. And just like the Excite cars, they're in pairs here, Tom. They seem to be culminating together. As I think Pannion might beat his teammate Erlicott over the line. He does. Just beats him. Obviously, Erlicott not too happy about that. Gives him a bit of a door bang on the way past. But yeah, feisty stuff between everybody. They're really, really good last few laps, that.
Yeah, it's like I said, the start of the race was a bit lax, but it really came together towards the end, didn't it? And the guys putting on a great display. As you see Maxwell coming across the line now in their number 14 car. He rounds out in 29th. All the cars coming across the line with a fair amount of damage. And it just goes to show, doesn't it, how much argy-bargy they do have out there. It's a bit like NASCAR, where they end up bumping and grinding each other all over the circuit. But it does make for some absolutely brilliant racing. I think Dave Hampson was probably the only car there, Chaz, that managed to make it home without any damage on it.
Yeah, he probably one of the only guys to keep it clean. I think Ashton was quite grateful to stay out of it all as well. Nice little formation flying from Murray and Mears, though. Really good to see those guys getting the results, because we've seen quite a few times that the Automech Knock Hill team have been a bit unlucky. And any second now then, now that all the cars have crossed the line, from what I can see anyway. There we go, there are the results.
So Dave Hampson then in the 888 car for SimLab makes a brilliant win for there, stamping his authority within the team. Jack Ashton for Excite iRacing comes home in second place. Murray is your AM race winner for Team Automech Knock Hill in third overall. And then fourth is Benjamin Mears, second in AM. who makes it a 1-2 for Team Auto Mechnock Hill. Jamie Ayres is in 5th, James McRitchie into 6th after that titanic battle between them. And then Rob Graham rounds out your AM podium in P7 that makes a Team Auto Mechnock Hill 1-2-3. So they'll be absolutely buzzing with that result. Charlie Semmers in 8th, Jason Cooper in 9th with Ashley Beard in 10th. Luke Cooper comes home 11th with Alex Cherney after his spin, has a little bit of a recovery drive and makes it home in 12th. Kip Stevens in 13th, Nick McCarron in 14th, Roy Verke in 15th, Carl Hardy in 16th, 17th was Scott Malcolm. Marcelo Pagnon comes home in 18th for Swift Cooper Esports as well. Elmar Erlacotti finishes in 19th, Adam Delmont in 20th, Steve Hefford in 21st, Joe McDolden in 22nd, Brian Holmes in 23rd, Nils Carstensen in 24th, Jeroen Ursum in 25th. Cesare Rizzo comes home in 26th. Martin Plowman in 27th with Stuart Dick in 28th. Andy Maxwell 29th. Billy Rose in 30th. Dale Bennison in 31st. Michael Barry in 32nd. 33rd was Martin Sampson. Mikey Key was 34th. Craig Jones in 35th. 36th was David Ayres. And then 37th, Stephen Cooley. And then your non-finishers, Tiger Lugo Vickery, Ralph Cullinan, Pete Van Gool, Michael Wortman, Abdul Kir Al Amri, and Adam McNally. And I just want to say, Chaz, I believe, if I look at my timing screen, for the AM category, that was a Team Auto Mechnock Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4. So a great result for them.
Smashing stuff by those guys. They'll be very, very pleased with that. And so they should be. It's very well deserved, of course. Just taking a quick look here at the reverse grid. Your owner's predicted 25 because he finished 25th. So not a real surprise there. And, well, as I said before, Alex, are you going to make his dreams come true, mate?
Well, let's see. Let's give it a spin. Yeah, I don't think so. It's going to be completely the opposite side of the board. It's going to be a small one. Will it? Won't it? Oh, yeah, it's 15. Smallest we've seen for a long time.
And that will put Roy Verke from Auto Mechnock Hill on pole position alongside SimLab driver Nick McCarron. Then it's 3 Swift Cooper Esports cars, Kip Stevens, Alex Cherney and Luke Cooper. So very strong lineup for the front of the grid. Roy Verke hoping to do some more honours for Auto Mechnock Hill. So if you join me, Alex and Tom in about 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes, we'll be back on the iRacing Esports Network for the third of 4 races this evening. Don't go away.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the BSR MX5 Pro Series. We're here at Imola for race 3 of 4 this evening. Tom, we've seen 2 cracking races so far. Hopefully this will be another one with quite a small reverse grid this time. Yeah,
hopefully. I think it's going to be an interesting race with, as you say, with the smaller reverse grid. It's going to be an interesting one. Roy Ververke, as we say, is on pole. With Nick McCarron behind him, Kip Stevens in 3rd, Alex Cherney in 4th, Luke Cooper 5th, Ashley Beard in 6th, Jason Cooper in 7th, Charlie Summers in 8th, 9th Rob Graham, James Ritchie in 10th, Jamie Ayres in 11th, Benjamin Mears is in 12th place, Lord Murray in 13th, Jack Ashton 14th, Dave Hampson in 15th, 16th is Carl Hardy, Scott Malcolm in 17th, 18th Marcelo Pagnon, Elmar Alacotti is in 19th, and then 20th is Adam Delmont. You'll see the other guys as they scroll through on your screen. As the revs rise then, the lights are on. 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And they drop the clutches and away they go. Good start from Ververke. He needed that to get away. Kip Stevens also got a cracking start there. Nick McCarron fell down a little bit as they dropped the clutch and away they went. But it's Ververke that leads as they come down towards turn number 1 then. Tips the car in nice and tight. Auto Metnock Hill really showing prowess here this evening. They're really showing that they're a team to be reckoned with in the AM series at the moment. And look at the gap he's got already. So that's good for Ververke. And he's going to be trying to make an inroads to get away from the likes of Cooper, Beard and Stevens and Cherney behind him. And McCarron as well, of course. Because that's what he's going to need. If he's going to, because I think, Chaz, if he can keep these guys at bay, I think he's got quite a strong chance of definitely winning AM, but getting a really high result overall.
Yeah, definitely. It's a cracking opportunity for him. He's just got to keep his head and do what he does best, really. Roy's a really calm driver, I've found. Used to see it, obviously, in the BSR MX5, not MX5, sorry, in the Club Series, back in the Kia Optima days, and in the BSR TC Pro Series as well. He's good at just sort of under the radar results, I'd say, is the phrase for him. He's always there or thereabouts, is Roy. Really quick guy. Good laugh as well, just to go with it. As we can see in the Swift Cooper Esports cars, once again, everywhere in the field at the moment. They're like the Excite cars have been usually, but they've not made a massive sort of impact on screen tonight of the Excite boys. Good second place for Ashton in that second race, of course, but nothing major to report other than that. There's a nice bit of glow from the curbs there as the sun strikes them, but noticed as well, Tom, we might see it as the cars come back down the first straight, and obviously here again into the last few corners, but the liveries really do sort of glow here as the sun's going down. It's a nice little sort of angle for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think that makes the sim what it is today. I mean, they've done so many good things with the new effects in terms of weather that it's really putting on a great show, especially for liveries wise. I mean, and you know, Chaz, as a painter yourself, and a good one at that. I'll do a little plug for you. It's one of them that has really brought the sim together, and I think has made it easily the best out there, in my opinion. So yeah, if you're a painter out there and you like your liveries, definitely iRacing is the way to go if you're painting elsewhere. But going back to the racing then, McCarron currently leading the race, with Ververke down in 3rd place after that great start that he had, and he's just succumbed to Ashley Beard as well, but he's still leading the AM category if you're a Ververke fan. There he goes, sat in P number 4 in car number 4, tips it through the hairpin. All the guys still very much bunched up together, Chaz, and I'm not sure, I think that was might have been Jack Ashton that got a little bit out of shape coming out of there. You won't want to be doing that too often, because that can cost you dearly. Over the crest of the hill they come then. McCarron on the outside, Cherney on the inside. Cherney makes it look easy, doesn't he? Straight up the inside of Nick McCarron in the number 2 machine. Swift Cooper Esports, SimLab and Excite 1, 2, 3. And this is going to shape up to be a really interesting race, Jazz, because we've got the 3 titans of the series all sat in podium positions at the moment.
Yeah, and they're going to at least want one each, but of course the Swift Cooper boys are going to want more than just that. Charlie Summers has gone off and is dropping down the order. Not sure. Oh, he's on his roll cage there in the background. Sparks are flying, and people are avoiding him all over the place. Hefford clips him there, one of the Excite cars. I hope he's not in VR. Wow, that'd be a nightmare. He disappears off the track. And there he is. I'm not quite sure how he managed that. I saw that he'd run wide a little bit. Whether that was it. Oh, there's contact there. That's the number 98. That's Ashton. Is that McRitchie in there as well? It is.
It is.
Not sure how they've come together down there. Must have been a little bit of movement on the way down. Jack Ashton still racing away. Side by side. Oh, get out of my way, he says to Plowman. Hip and shoulder. Plowman now side by side with Stuart Dick down the straight. But yeah, that's a real shame there. We lost quite a lot of big names. But that's what comes with all the scrapping that these guys do, I suppose, Tom. And Roy Verke still in 5th place. Is his teammates, Mears and Graham. Still meaning it's another 1, 2, 3 in the AM category for Auto Knock Hill. They got a 1, 2, 3, 4 in the last one. So they're really putting on a good show at the moment. Here is race 2 winner Dave Hampson and Kip Stevens. Kip not really putting up much of a fight there in what seems to be, I mean, I'm not sure whether it is on your boys' screens, but looks like quite an unbranded car on my screen. I've got him in just a black, white and pink livery. Not sure whether he's sort of made way for space in the Swift Cooper Esports team for someone else, but still racing away is Kip. He's doing a good job. Side by side now is Verke, still clinging onto any position he can here, Tom, against Jamie Ayres.
Yeah, he definitely is, isn't he? And that's what he needs going forward. He needs to cling on as much as he can, definitely in this case. But Verke currently running in P6 and really showing the pro boys what he is made of. And it's definitely, you know, it really shows that he's got the metal to hang with even the best in the series. I mean, I know he started in P1 and he's an AM driver, so he expected him to lose a few places, but he's got the likes of Hampson and Panion behind him, and he's not making it easy for them at the moment, is Verke. And he's getting a lot of screen time at the moment because he is really putting in a good job. But Alex Cherney leads them from Nick McCarron, Jason Cooper and Luke Cooper, the 2 Swift Cooper Esports boys, really hanging in there. And then I'm looking a bit further down down the order, Chaz. Currently, the highest placed Excite racing car is Ashley Beard in 13th. So they're not having the time of their lives out there at the moment.
No, not the greatest of races, but it can change in the blink of an eye. We've seen it a lot before. There we go. Side by side here is McCarron, just trying it on Cooper, but that's Jason in front and Luke behind. So he's got Cooper and Cooper, and these boys are both very, very quick. But as you can see, Tom, it's looking like it might be. I'm not going to say this now, but it could be. There's the opportunity of it being a 1, 2, 3 here for Swift Cooper Esports. Down the inside, there goes Luke. I think Nick there playing the long game as he plays the long apex there as well. But yeah, I think he's just sort of thinking about the points here as Nick McCarron. He did that last season. He got a win, of course, at Cooper a few weeks ago, but finished second in the Winter Series, just pipping Adam McNally in the last round of the season by just being a consistent finisher.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. And it's nice to see the main guys of the series. You know, we've got some awesome talent coming through in this series. As you say, we've mentioned a few names of Verke and other ones that we've said about this evening are really starting to show prowess, and it's great because now it just starts to show that the top guys, you know, of the Swift Cooper Esports and the Excite of this world are really starting to come under pressure from a lot of the smaller drivers and smaller teams who perhaps don't get as much airtime as the front runners. But it really is, you know, what makes this a great series is that everyone can get involved, and it really is a series to hone your skills. As we look a bit forward then, Murray there really coming under pressure from Hefford. Hefford does go through, but he's got damage on his car again as Hefford. And now Murray's coming under pressure from McNally. Looks like McNally might have made his way through. An interviewee favourite is Adam McNally. He's normally in here chatting to us, isn't he, Chaz? And he's definitely one of our favourites to interview at the end of an evening.
Oh, definitely. He's an enthusiastic lad about what he does, is Adam. He's always on the ball with the Excite guys, and of course maintaining their image. Obviously nice liveries and everything. He's been updating the helmets and the suits as well. I believe the World Rallycross driver Oliver Bennett is directly involved with these guys, and he's been doing a lot of testing in his, I believe it's a Mini, I think it's just the Mini Cooper, I don't think it's a Clubman or anything like that. be interesting if that was a rally car though. But oh, down the inside there goes McNally, just clips the side of Steve Hefford. Luckily he doesn't turn him. And around the outside, Lorne Murray, really opportunistic, doesn't quite get it done though, but 10 out of 10 for effort. Really, just, I didn't even get the word out. He flung it around the outside there. Smashing stuff, but it looks like he's going to lose out here to Ralph Cullinan, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's an interesting move there from him, wasn't it? And it has cost him a little bit, but if he'd have made it stick, it'd have been absolutely fantastic. He's now got Al Amri in with him as well, and Plowman. Those two pro drivers trying to make inroads on him, but Murray, the plucky little lamb driver, is really defending hard now for Auto Mech Knock Hill, coming up the hill then towards the left-hander, braking hard down through the gears, just clip the curb on the inside, then push it out nice and wide. Really got to use as much of the track as you possibly can in these cars to keep them going, keep the momentum, as I said earlier. Al Amri piling on the pressure on Murray then, but Murray trying to catch Cullinan, the number 55 car, trying to make it as wide as possible, and it's the widest MX5 in the world at the moment for Al Amri. He can't seem to make any sort of inroads on him, as we see Ursum there. He's having a little look, and he's getting on to the end of this battle as well. Your own Ursum, our resident spinny wheel man, really getting onto the back of them as well. So Chaz, I've got to say, at the midfield at the moment, it's providing some cracking racing. Looking a bit further towards the front then, Lacotti, Beard and Graham all fixated in a really tight battle as well. You've got Brian Holmes in there, currently sat down in 15th if you're a Brian Holmes fan, for those ones that are out there. He's currently in the slipstream of Adam Delmont. He's probably, as we look down towards the start-finish straight, he's probably going to pop out and try and make a move. He's alongside him now. Two teammates together. Are they going to get the move done? I don't know. Looking back, looking a bit forward, Lacotti's succumbed to Beard's pressure. And Beard currently sitting in P11. So it's all happening out there at the moment, Chaz. The AM boys really fighting with the pro guys of Excite and really holding their own, and it's making for some great viewing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cracking this. Really good battling, as we always see from these boys. Nice little bit of argy-bargy here and then. Trying to go around the outside as Brian Holmes gets a wide line though in the corner. Doesn't seem to get much of a slingshot off, although I eat my words. Look at the run that he's got. Going alongside Graham then up the hill. Just eking it out ahead though, but Graham on the inside. Better line through there. Holmes gets a fantastic cutback though. Look at that, brilliant stuff. Is he going to get it done round the outside into the right-hander? That was cracking by Brian Holmes. That's a really, really lovely manoeuvre to see. Fair play to the lad. Well done. That was great.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And that's what we've come to expect from him. He's one of the most respected drivers out there in the field at the moment. But we're looking a bit more forward towards the front of the grid at the moment. We're out the front of the grid. Cherney leads from Cooper, the two teammates. Well, they're making it look easy at the moment, aren't they? Cherney in the number 6. Cooper out there in the number 1, last season's champion. Let's see if he does go and put a move on Cherney towards the end of this race as they come round to start the penultimate lap then. The white flag will be out for them. No white flag? No, sorry, I've got that completely wrong. As Cooper goes up the inside then. He's got the slipstream on Cherney at the moment. Let's see how this pans out. Cooper does take the lead of the race. Cherney, I think gave him a little bit too much room there. But then again, they are teammates, so who knows what's going on in their team radio chat at the moment. But so Cooper leads from Cherney, from Luke Cooper as well. Jamie Ayres and Dave Hampson for SimLab are 4th and 5th respectively. Behind them, they've got Marcelo Pagnon and Nick McCarron. So it's proving to be an interesting one, this. But I don't think that the guys who are a little bit further back in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Chaz, are going to be able to get onto the back of these guys.
No, they're just not going to be able to make it up that quickly, I suppose. But it's Luke Cooper at the moment that is holding the fort, and he's protecting it from Ayres, Hampson and Pagnon, obviously his teammate. He's going to be working with him as well. But yeah, Cooper and Cherney at the moment really showing us how it's done. And I mean, it's the usual story though, isn't it, with these guys? Really, really good teamwork and just consistent pace. No matter what track we go to, they're always up there. And I mean, I've not seen what they're sort of practicing is like, but I can imagine it's pretty thorough. And like you were saying earlier, they work really hard on setups to make sure this car is absolutely spot on. It's a real momentum car, so you need to make sure that it does work very well at the circuit you go into. It may not be the quickest thing on the service, but you can very easily gain and lose momentum from it. And that little train in the background is looking more and more interesting as we go along. One more lap to go here, Tom. It could all change. We've seen it before. No reason it couldn't happen again.
No, definitely not. It's going to prove to be an exciting one, this, as Cooper goes out very, very wide. That gives Ayres the opportunity to go up into third place. So the SimLab driver now sitting on the podium once again. And he really is a force to be reckoned with for SimLab. He's leading the way for them at the moment as the guys behind go 3 wide. It's Jamie Ayres, it's a SimLab car, Swift Cooper Esports, SimLab and then Swift Cooper Esports. So both the teams are going to want this more than anything else in the world right now. Cooper goes to the outside. Jamie Ayres has to defend. They brakes late. There's a little bit of contact there. And they both managed to get through. I don't know how they managed to do it. It's caused Ayres to go out wide. Ayres still sliding around. That MX5 stepping out. He's doing the cha-cha slide out there at the moment. And it's cost him dearly, Chaz. He's fallen down 2 places there. Now he's coming into the clutches of Panion as well. Panion all over the back of the SimLab cars. Jamie Ayres goes out wide again, kicks up a load of dust in Panion's face. And it's I think this one is really going to go down to the wire here, and I still think it's anybody's guess. As Jamie Ayres really steps out sideways, coming out the hairpin, and that just goes to show how much he's pushing here right now.
He is really, really going for it. Fantastic scrap between those boys. Bit of argy-bargy here and there, and no one ended up off the track, but it means that Luke Cooper is now further ahead. Alex Cherney has taken the lead of the race from his teammate Jason Cooper. And Marcelo Panion's still in the fight then with Hampson and Ayres. As they go up towards the chicane then for the final time. Here are your 2 leaders. Alex Cherney in the number 6 car. Jason Cooper in the number 1 car. Jason is making a very good attempt at this championship already, Tom. And it'd be, well, there's no reason why he can't go and win the whole thing with this consistency. But with such a long championship, I mean, we've seen a lot of results be changed very quickly over the course of a season. So we'll have to see how he gets on for the rest of it. But at the final corner then, it's going to be Alex Cherney and Jason Cooper taking a 1-2 for Swift Cooper Esports. Cracking stuff. Really well done by those guys. Nice little formation finish across the line. And it's going to be Luke Cooper making it an entire Swift Cooper Esports podium. Really, really strong result. There's Ashley Beard side by side with Roy Viverke. Viverke wins the AM category. And for the second race, Ronin Mears brings it home in 2nd place with Graham 3rd. Or is he going to be 3rd? Because he's just dropped down. Yeah, he just beats Carl Hardy to the line. So that means it's another 1-2-3 for Auto Mechnock Hill in AM, Tom. That's very, very strong by those boys as we see Hefford and Plowman. Plowman just making it there.
Yeah, brilliant stuff for Auto Mechnock Hill. They're really putting in work, as you can see. They've come from the Minardis of the grid, and now they've come up to be a real force to be reckoned with in AM, and I don't think it's going to be too long before they end up with a couple of pro drivers, with their drivers being promoted to that category. They've really just shown great driving prowess this evening, and they've really just, I don't know, they've surprised me in a way. I mean, they've had a 1, 2, 3 and 4 and a 1, 2, 3, and they've always been thereabouts, but tonight they've really just put the pace on, got their heads down and do what they needed to do. So yeah, really, really good congratulations to them.
And we hope, of course, they continue it into the 4th and final race of the night. But before that, we should have the results any second now. I think there's maybe 1 car still to go out on track. Just having a quick look down the live timing at the moment. Still got 40 cars tonight. We did start with 43. And we've still got 40 at this point, so still doing fine. Jeroen Hussum saying that he wants 25 again on the reverse grid. Just checking whether that means that he did finish in 25th. He didn't, actually. He finished 23rd. So we'll have to see whether that happens for him. But in just a moment, we should have the results for you. But, well, another strong 3 races so far, Tom. And with it going into the the night lighting, we should see a crazy last one, because this place isn't very strongly floodlit, to say the least.
No, it's not. It's one of those interesting ones, isn't it? It's going to be nice and dark for them out there. And as we've said before, picking your braking points is the real issue when it comes to nighttime driving, especially around a track like this. It isn't floodlit. It's okay at places like Daytona, where the whole track's lit up as if you were driving in the day anyway. But at places like this, it's a completely different ball game for them. So I'm expecting a few incidents to race for, but I know it's going to be a fantastic one.
Here we go then. For the third time tonight, we have the results for you.
So, for the third time this evening, as Chaz says, Alex Cherney takes your race win for Swift Cooper Esports. Jason Cooper behind him and Luke Cooper in third to make it an all Swift Cooper Esports 1, 2, 3 podium. So, brilliant driving from them. Dave Hampson comes home in fourth. Marcelo Pagnon in fifth. Nick McCarron in sixth. Kip Stevens in seventh. Ashley Beard in eighth. Roy Verke is your AM race winner in ninth overall for Team Auto Knock Hill. Elmar Elacotti is in 10th with Adam Delmont in 11th. Benjamin Muse, P2 in AM, 12th overall for Team Auto Knock Hill again. Brian Holmes, Jack Ashton and Anna McNally, 13th, 14th and 15th for Excite Racing. I don't think they're going to be too chipper with that result out there at the moment. Stuart Dick in 16th. Rob Graham is in 17th and rounds out your podium for AM for Team Auto Knock Hill again. So another 1, 2, 3 for them. Carl Hardy finishes in 18th, 19th Martin Plowman, Steve Hefford in 20th, 21st was Scott Malcolm, Law Murray in 22nd, your own Urson 23rd, Abdul Kir Al Amri in 24th, Craig Jones 25th, Billy Rose 26th, Niels Carstensen in 27th, Pete Van Gaal in 28th, Andy Maxwell in 29th, 30th was Mikey Key, Stephen Cooley in 31st, 32nd was Ralph Cullinan, 33rd was Michael Barry, David Ayres in 34th, Jamie Ayres finished in 35th and was the first of your non-race finishers. Behind him was Dale Bennison, Charlie Summers, James McRitchie, Cesare Rizzo and Tyler Lugo Vickery.
Thanks very much, Tom. Smashing stuff as always from these guys. Nice feisty racing. And for the third and final time tonight, Alex, we should have the reverse grid wheel.
Yeah, let me unmute myself. That usually helps.
There he is.
Just 1 second. Here we go then. 25. Will it come in? Final time limit. Oh, I just missed it. Close. Well, actually, it's a couple of segments off, but it was pretty close. 35th in the end.
35th then would put Jamie Ayres on pole position alongside, spelt differently, David Ayres. Mick Barry will be third, Ralph Cullinan fourth, and Steve Cooley in the number 87 car will be fifth on the grid. So we will join you again in about 10 to 15 minutes time when the lights will be off and the car's lights will be on for the fourth and final race tonight in the BSR MX5 Pro Series. Don't go away. Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and Imola for the BSR MX5 Pro Series. Chaz Draycott here with Tom Jacobs and Alex Simpson on the cameras. And we've just been discussing the wonderfully beautiful sky that we have before us for this final race. Tom, it looks absolutely immense, doesn't it?
It looks absolutely phenomenal, I've got to say. It looks, honestly, you've just got to take it all in, the fact that a simulator is able to produce those sort of gorgeous skies that we've got in the sim now. And I mean, it affects the track as well, and it affects, you know, drivers being able to see curbs, as I said before we went to the ad break. So it's, you know, if you're not on iRacing, I strongly suggest you get on it and get involved, because it's things like this that just make the sim a perfect all-rounder. And I think the main reason why most of us turn to it is the fact that we can't race in real life. We haven't really got the expense to, so it just really brings it all together. And yeah, it's just gorgeous skies for this final race, and I hope the racing is just as exciting.
It certainly will be, I'm sure. I'm just waiting for a shot of it to pop up, because I know that what Alex can see right now on his scenic cameras may be a little bit different to what we can see at the time, but it's on the main straight where it looks the prettiest, where the orange sky is just catching the bottom of the clouds as they make their way over the circuit. It just looks absolutely fantastic, like we've said. But by the end of this race, we should be completely under lights, to be fair, Tom. It's going to go completely dark, so it will really impair the driver's vision, of course. But that makes it all more exciting, I suppose.
Yeah, it does indeed. It's going to be an interesting one for them when it does go completely dark. As we said before, this track isn't lit up in dark time mode, in nighttime mode. So, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. The guys are really going to have to watch themselves. I feel that the guys who are in VR and with triple screens might have a bit of an advantage in the dark, because they'll be able to see more around them. But yeah, you just got to keep an eye on your mirrors and see who's coming up to you really fast, which by the looks of it, if you're an AM, will probably auto-mech not kill. And if you're a pro driver, it's going to be Swift Cooper Esports. As we go to the grid then, Jamie Ayres is in pole position. Behind him, Davey Ayres for Result Clothing, Michael Barry in third, Ralph Cullen in fourth, Stephen Cooley in fifth, Mikey Key in sixth, with Andy Maxwell in seventh, Pete Van Gool in eighth. Ninth is Nils Carstensen, 10th Billy Rose, 11th Craig Jones, Abdulkir Al Amri is in 12th, 13th for Jeroen Ursum, Lorne Murray in 14th, 15th for Scott Malcolm, Steve Hefford in 16th, 17th there for Martin Plowman, Carl Hardy in 18th, Rob Graham in 19th, Stuart Dick in 20th, and then we'll let the rest of the drivers all scroll down past through your screens, as I think we're just waiting on one driver, which is David Ayres, to line up in P2. And he's going to be the last one to make this grid. So we're all waiting on you, Mr. Ayres. And then we can get this race underway. As there we go then. David Ayres doesn't grid. He starts from the pit lane as the lights begin to go red. And away they go then. Great launch there from Jamie Ayres. Got away really well. Who's that coming up on the outside though? Not sure who that is at the moment. Couldn't quite see their windscreen banner. The number 5 car there really got an absolutely cracking start. And as they all go down into turn number 1 then, all the guys fighting through nicely. They've still got a bit of daylight left, haven't they, Chaz? But I'm sure, as we said before, once it starts to go dark, there's going to be a few incidents out there.
Yeah, there may be the odd one or two here. Just a bit... just trying to check. I think Andy Maxwell is the number 5 car. I think Jamie Ayres was. Oh, there's an automatic not kill car off, and it's Lorne Murray. He's off in the gravel, and I think I need to. I mean, I've been in charge of these guys' numbers, so I need to go and have a look at that, because Jamie Ayres is usually number 5. Oh, and that's number 51. That's Jeroen Ursum off the track on the inside again. That same corner. It's nearly 5 wide there as they come up the hill. I think there was another accident there. There's a couple of guys moving around position-wise. I don't think anyone fell off, though. That's absolutely amazing. You see the Auto Metnock Hill guys making their way back through. Oh, sideways on the outside. That's number 77. That's Elmar Elacotti. These guys are really scrapping in this lower midfield here. That's like 24th position, that. It's just they're fighting for it like it's a race win. Brilliant to see, though. The determination behind these guys is absolutely awesome. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happened to Andy Maxwell, but he seems to have stolen Jamie's number for this race. But never mind, it's the little things. But when you've got OCD like I have, it bothers you. So we'll see. But we see the 777 here of Al Amri side by side with Jones into the last couple of corners. Down the inside he goes in the asymmetric car, gets the move done nicely. Goes into the last 2 corners there. Down the straight to start lap 2. Mikey Key on the outside there. I don't know whether he's got a slowdown or whether he's just going for a wider line or just giving Van Gool as much space as possible. Van Gool up to 4th. It's Jamie Ayres leading the way then from Mick Barry, Ralph Cullinan, the aforementioned Van Gool and Key. Then it's Carstensen, Maxwell, Al Amri, Hefford and Jones. So a good spread in the top 10, Tom. And Mick Barry leading the AM category at the moment, doing a fine job.
Yeah, definitely. Mick Barry's really doing everything that he needs to do to take that AM race win away from Cullinan. Although Cullinan looks like he might have the edge on him there. He got a great exit at where the old Tamburello used to be. Down into the second chicane then. Through they go. Cullinan leads now the AM race. Barry coming under pressure from Pete Van Gool. I've got to say this though, Chaz. Jamie Ayres is just starting to pull away from the rest of them. A great gap for him now, almost up to 3 seconds by the looks of it on my timing screens. So he's doing everything that he needs to do, and he just needs to keep a cool head. And if he can keep it on the track, Chaz, as long as the other guys don't catch him, which they may do. He's got the likes of Van Gool, Al Amri, Hefford's in there as well, all making inroads at the moment to try and catch him, but he needs to get as much distance from these other guys as he can at the moment.
Yeah, he's just got to be consistent, just put the lap times in and get away with it as best he can. Mick Barry has gone red on the timing tower on the left. There's a couple of guys off there. Maxwell involved as well. Mikey Key is off. Not quite sure what's happened between those boys. But that's a real shame. Mick Barry was leading the AM category just at the beginning of this lap. There's a couple of guys 2x2 into the chicane there. That's not the easiest thing to do. Here he is then. He catches a curb on the inside. Goes across, and I think Mikey Key has a separate incident. Yeah, I think Key and Maxwell both have a separate crash there to Mick Barry. So all 3 of them blowing away the chance of an AM win. There's Steve Cooley, the number 87 Year 1 racing car. Very bright and bold livery that one, Tom, and there's definitely no mistake in the numbers on it. But that means Ralph Cullinan, as he was in the first race of the night, is now leading the AM category as they go nearly 3 wide, nearly possibly 4 wide down the straight here, Tom. This is risky.
Yeah, this is going to be a risky one. It's either going to end in tears or all go in the favour of one driver. Still 3 wide, nearly 4 wide as they come down towards turn number 1. Holmes straight from the middle though, did exactly what he needed to do. Oh, Cooley's gone very wide and very deep into there. That's given Mikey Key the run on him. And Cooley's lost out 4 places pretty much in one corner. Sorry, 3 places in one corner. And that's not what he would have wanted. That's given Beard, Plowman, Key and Holmes all the everything that they needed to now make inroads to try and get further up the order.
Oh, Rose.
Oh, there's Rose off in the background. Not sure he's falling down the order. The 444 as well of Ashton is falling down the order. Sorry, the 98 of Jack Ashton there. He's out on the gravel as well. So, and that's a very broken MX5. Let's have a look back at the replay then. Ashton behind. You've got Billy Rose there as well. Let's see what happened here then. Ashton goes to the outside. Oh, I just didn't think he was expecting Billy Rose to brake when he did. Went straight to the back of him and ended up writing off his race, Chaz, as there's nearly more carnage between Pagnon and Delmont as well. So we said it, race number 4 always tends to bring everyone's elbows out and they all start having a good bust up.
Yeah, they're really getting on with it now, but not quite sure what happened to Ashton there. It looked like his brakes didn't even come on when he got on the gravel. He went to go down the inside, but I think he might have had a brake pedal failure or something, because the car just went straight on with no resistance. As it's 777 against 72, that's Al Amri, and Steve Hefford's gone straight on there, so Al Amri's done one over on him there, it seems. Al Amri is wearing an AM classification windscreen banner and number boards, but he is in the pro class. That's on me, that one. I can hold my hands up for that. I haven't updated that, not gonna lie. He is pro on the timing tower on the left, which means he is blue. And Steve Hefford regaining his momentum now, down in 9th place. So real shame for Steve, because he would have been on for a pro classification podium. He's now going to be chasing down Ashley Beard. But he's got Plowman behind him in 10th. Good stuff by Plowman in the Fury Sim Sports car. But yeah, this 4th race, Tom, really exciting stuff as always. This is when the grid has been really nicely mixed up over the course of the entire evening. And we see a lot of people out of their comfort zone in some scenarios, because a lot of the pro drivers have to make their way through the field from further down. And then obviously some of the AMs have to try and cling on for dear life when they've not quite got the pace to keep up with them. Jones there, trying to have a look on Pete Van Gool. This is Hefford now in his attack on Ashley Beard. Already halfway through the race though, Tom. These flown by tonight. Only 8 laps though, because it's nearly 2 minutes a lap, which you wouldn't really expect it, Imola, would you?
No, you wouldn't at all. And then you look at other places like Tsukuba when we end up doing about 1 minute 10s round there, if not even quicker. So it's an interesting one. I think the longer lap makes the races go a lot quicker. But as you say, we're already on lap 4 now. As the guys down the hill, really tricky corner to get right, that one. There's a bit of contact there. I think Hefford might have just lightly tapped the back of Jones. And he's now going to go up the inside as they go towards the chicane. Hard on the brakes. Brake lights glowing massively. Hefford's gone through. There is contact though.
I think someone blew an engine.
Yeah, maybe.
Mikey Key.
Might have been Mikey Key blowing an engine.
Yep.
He's down into the pits. And I think he may have just put it into first when he wanted third there, Chaz.
Yeah, you can easily do it. I mean, a lot of these guys do use H-pattern shifters, which obviously makes the racing a little bit more sort of authentic for people rather than just using flappy paddles or a sequential shifter. But yeah, you can just see on the change down it just goes. Real shame that for Mikey as well. He's running quite well. But that's motorsport, I suppose. I don't know why I said that with a weird accent, but there we go. Oh, kissing wing mirrors there. That's Jones. Plowman. McNally is going to try and go down the inside of these pair, nearly making contact. Jones just about blocks him off. McNally's going to put his nose back down the inside. Jones says none of it. Take that, not on your life. McNally gives him a shove, get out of the way. Through the first few corners he goes, and what he's done is he's pushed Jones away from there, and Plowman's going to be laughing all the way to the bank ahead of them. But Jones is second in AM at the moment, so he doesn't want to be fighting too hard. And he wants the honours, but to be fair, Tom, for the 4th race of the evening, if you look at the timing tower on the left, there's not many AMs in the top 20 usually. It's peppered with them at this point, but it's only a light peppering tonight.
Yeah, they've had a light dusting, haven't they? A light seasoning of AMs for race 4. On your timing tower on the left, Cullinan really making inroads at the moment. Currently sat in P3 for Result Clothing, and at the moment it is a Result Clothing 1-2 in AM. Although Automech Knock Hill are currently 3rd and 4th, so that's really been the story of the evening for the AM category, isn't it? It's been either Result Clothing or Automech Knock Hill, who are the only ones that have really sort of made a big inroad to getting results this evening for the AM category. Looking at Pete Van Gool then, behind Brian Holmes. Behind him he's got Ashley Beard, so he's currently in an Excite sandwich. And I wouldn't want to be him if I was at the moment, Chaz, because we know how well that they can work together. They've not had the best of evenings Excite so far. Swift Cooper Esports and SimLab seem to have really got this track down to a T. I mean, the highest placed Excite racing car is Brian Holmes at the moment, currently sat in P5. And but normally we see them I can't even get my words out. Normally we see them getting the odd race win of the evening, don't we? It's normally either between them or SimLab or Swift Cooper, but they definitely normally get a race win. So they'll go away from this one, and I think there'll be a few talks of how they can tweak things for the next round.
Yeah, it's not been the greatest of rounds for them, like you say. Van Gool doing the fastest lap of the race there, 2:03.4. I think that might have been slightly helped by his wider line out the final corner. May have given him a bit more momentum down the straight, but well, he's on it. But like you say, he's in an Excite sandwich at the moment, so Holmes won't want to be backing him up into Beard. That's not how he rolls, really, Brian. He moves forward and doesn't really slow down at all. Plowman and McNally having a good scrap here for the last few places in the top 10. That's a hell of a train of cars they've got behind them, though, so they've got to be careful. They don't want to take too many liberties anywhere. And this is another guy in an Excite sandwich, actually, because Adam Delmont is in 11th place behind Plowman. So hopefully he can stand his ground against these boys, as Cooper and Summers having a bit of a scrap in the background. Erlicotti as well, Panion and Cooper. So Erlicotti's in a really big sandwich at the moment, some very thick white bread either side of it. of the Swift Cooper Esports boys, and they're going side by side though, so they're having a scrap of their own. And I've realised as well, actually, Ellicott is part of Swift Cooper Esports, isn't he? So it's actually just purebred at the moment. Oh, there he goes. Oh, and into the side of him. Well, there's his teammate. I was going to say he's made a meal of that, but it's a whole meal of that, I'd say. Bit of a shame, really, though. Into team contact, that's never what you want. It's first rule of motorsport. But I'm sure they'll get back on it and off they go. Not really got any other words for that, to be honest. It was a bit of a commentator's curse in itself in some sort of fashion, but Jason Cooper there is going slow. I think he got a slowdown out of that chicane, and McRitchie goes through. Don't know whether Mears will get the opportunity to do the same. He's going down the inside, is Mears. Really, really big dive on the brakes. Doesn't quite do it, though. Cooper holds it around the outside. Nicely done. I believe now Jamie Ayres is... No, it's not the last lap yet. It's just gone on to the 7th lap of the race as we see Plowman and McNally and Delmont still having this scrap. Delmont getting the slipstream off his teammate. He's going to get ahead of Plowman here. And that's where the teamwork comes in, I suppose. 3 wide down the straight. McNally gets out of the way of both of them, to be fair. Not quite sure what the situation with this was with that, but we'll see. But this is fantastic stuff. Loads of position swapping, Tom, and really strong fighting once again.
Yeah, definitely. As you can see, McNally's got some damage on the front of the car. I don't think it'll be impeding him that much, as Delmont keeps it round the outside. Then he's got the inside line for the second part of the chicane. Wow! McNally goes round. And I think that was just a bit too much power there, Chaz, too early. And round it went, straight off into the grass. I think he just lightly tapped the barrier. He'll definitely get it going again. But he's fallen down the timing sheets. P25 he's now sat in. So unfortunate for him. But yeah, as we've said it before, these cars are easy to drive, but very hard to master. And I think, as we've said, Chaz, once it starts to go, it's very hard to claw back, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. You see... we used to see Jack McIntyre and Jamie Ayres drift this thing like it was made for drifting, but in a race scenario when you're really on the limit, once it starts to go, you do want to obviously naturally try and save it. But sometimes there is nothing you can do. Got to give a shout to Carstensen at the moment, doing a fine job in 2nd place. Just behind Jamie Ayres. Al Amri in 3rd, also doing a good job. Those two new to the series, this season. Great to see them getting the good results. Jones is showing us red on the timing tower on the left, which means he's gone off track. I think he dropped down a place as well. But here we go then. Jamie Ayres on to the final lap of the race. Nice clean run for Jamie at the moment. Of course, ex-teammate of mine and Tom's, so it's good to see him up there flying the flag for Wales, of course. Nils Carstensen representing Swift Cooper Esports at the front of the field. The next driver for that team is down in 10th, so he's doing a fine job. There's the German. And Al Amri, you can just see behind there in 3rd. He's got Brian Holmes, Van Gool, Cullinan and Beard behind him as well. And I think it is Beard at the back of that train. He's really got to hang on here as Al Amri. He's under a lot of pressure. He's going to run wide there as well. He's on the AstroTurf, but he's kept it under control. Nicely done. It's easy to light up the rears there, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, very easy, especially on the AstroTurf. As we said, once it does start to go, it's definitely going round, especially there. The AstroTurf, a lot of people say, oh, it's a bit of extra tarmac or a bit of extra track for me, but really, unless you've got full grip and you're going in a straight line, it's definitely going to spin the car the other way. So we've seen a lot of drivers fall failure to that, even this evening, but throughout the times that we've watched these races and commentated on it over the seasons. As we look at Brian Holmes then, all over the back of Al Amri. He's flying the flag for Excite at the moment. He's going to want to get the podium this evening, but he steps out by just a whisker as he comes out of that corner there. And he's got it all to do as they come towards the finish back down the hill for the final time this evening. Is he going to get the move done? He goes for a dive on the outside, but he hasn't quite got it. Although he might get the run on Al Amri if he can go. If Al Amri puts it out wide, we'll go back to that in a second as Jamie Ayres then comes across the line to take the race 4 win. Absolutely superb drive from him. led from start to finish. Nils Carstensen is in second place. Al Amri does manage to make it stick then to take P3 and round out the podium. Behind him, Brian Holmes and Pete Van Gool. And then as everyone else comes across the line, Chaz, a great evening's racing.
Yeah, really, really good from these boys. Imola has thrown up a fantastic pallet for them. It's Craig Jones here fighting to the line with Nick McCarran. Nick McCarran's hung it out round the outside and he's going to cross the line ahead of him. Viverke there trying to get Jones, but it's another AM podium for him. Brilliant stuff from Roy Viverke. Really well deserved. And I do apologise, actually, Ben Mears was second, so that means Craig Jones actually rounded out the podium there. Andy Maxwell on the number 5 car. He's chasing down Cesare Rizzo, who's defending for his life as they come to the line. Please don't make contact, boys. Sorry, it's not. It was Scott Malcolm actually who he was racing with there. Thought it was Rizzo in front of him. It's actually Rizzo behind him. Scott just winning it there between those two. But yeah, like you say, Tom, another strong evening of racing tonight. Really good mix of the Pro and Am categories all over the whole course of the evening, and plenty of good battles. A couple of incidents, but nothing major really, which is it's always a plus to see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was an interesting one, wasn't it? I think, especially for race 4, we thought it was going to go to night time and it was going to turn into an absolute bloodbath, but it didn't. A lot of guys kept it on the circuit. So, yeah, a good night's racing overall. And then we'll go to your results then. Jamie Ayres takes the win for SimLab, and he was ahead of Nils Carstensen, who finished in P2. And then Abdulkir Al Amri is finished in P3. Brian Holmes takes 4th with Pete Van Gool behind him in 5th. Ashley Beard in 6th. Your AM race winner Ralph Cullinan finishes in 7th overall for Result Clothing once again. Steve Hefford in 8th. Charlie Summers in 9th. Adam Delmont in 10th. 11th was Martin Plowman. James Ritchie in 12th. Marcelo Panion finishes 13th. Jason Cooper in 14th. Benjamin Mears in 15th. Finishes P2 in AM. 16th was Dave Hampson. Kip Stevens in 17th. 18th was... Oh, sorry, I've lost it. Thank you, Alex. Nick McCarran. 19th, Craig Jones. Roy Viverke in 20th. Alex Cherney in 21st. Stuart Dick in 22nd. Adam McNally in 23rd. Stephen Cooley in 24th. 25th was Luke Cooper. Elmar Elacotti was in 27th. Dale Bennison in 28th, Scott Malcolm. 29th, Andy Maxwell. 30th was Cesare Rizzo. 31st was Carl Hardy. 32nd was David Ayres. Jeroen Urson was 32nd. And your non-finishers were Michael Barry, Mikey Key, Billy Rose, Jack Ashton, Rob Graham, and Lorne Murray.
Thanks very much, Tom. Fantastic night racing, as we've said. Really, really good to do. We really enjoy doing this, of course. And you can check out other streams by ourselves on Apex Racing TV. We're over on Facebook and Twitch. And of course, subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network as well. And don't forget to click the little bell icon. You will be notified of future videos. We will look towards the interview room. And, well, we'll bring in... Yeah, well, we'll bring in the oh-so-familiar face of XI Energy Esports iRacing team manager, Adam McNally. Adam,
Evening.
How did that go with you guys? We didn't see too much of you lot. There was a good few battles, but results-wise, how was it?
Well, had a few decent results. I think it's been one of them nights for the team. Had a few DNFs. I had my own DNF race too, which was all my own fault. Like I said, just luck wasn't on our side tonight.
It seemed like a bit of a tough one. Imola, though, we didn't race it too long ago, actually, in the Winter Series. In terms of driving the track, I mean, I know it depends on the car, but did you find it an enjoyable one on the MX5?
It's not a track I really enjoy in the MX5. I find the back straight far too long. The draft's just crazy. I mean, I lost 7/10 just on the draft down that back straight that last lap. And it doesn't seem to matter how much of a good run you get out. But in the curbs, sometimes it's quite easy to turn the car on the curbs. They're a bit high.
It's interesting you say that about the slipstream, actually. Tom and I were discussing it earlier and thinking it wasn't going to be much of a factor, but I suppose when it's short runs like that, I mean, it may seem that's not the case, but like I say, 7/10 is a hell of a lot to lose, to be fair.
Yeah. I think if you've got a car in front, you're fine, but if you haven't got another car in front, you're there as a victim.
Yeah, sick duck. Well, it was good to see the XI boys out on track, though. Obviously, you are always out in force, which is good. We were just talking earlier about the. I don't want to say the exciting news about Oliver Bennett, but there's no other word for it really. But he's getting ready for his season. Is there anything you guys are doing with him particularly that you can tell us about, or is it all sort of hush hush?
Hopefully, we've got a few things lined up in the future, but obviously can't say much on it yet.
Yeah.
But we're getting some clothing and that coming out. Hopefully, not too long.
Smashing. Good stuff. Well, we look forward to seeing it, mate. Before we let you go tonight, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, the usual, you guys, everyone that does the work behind the scenes. Excite Energy for back in the team. Lux Sim24 for joining the team as well. We've got the Racing Mentor, Motorsport Days Live, and the Prio Premature Baby Foundation. And obviously all of our drivers for taking part, turning up every night for practice and race. I mean, sometimes it doesn't go our way, but that's just racing fire, isn't it?
It certainly is, mate. Well, smashing to speak to you as always, Adam. And we'll join you next week at the circuit that I don't know where we are.
Brands Indy. I already found out this ready, because I know it's always the same.
Well, just before you go, what do you reckon to that then, Brands Indy?
Oh, I like the track, but it's all these crazy little MX5s trying to go around there. I think it could be Demolition Derby. Could be a great race like Tsukuba.
Yeah,
but it could just be nuts.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll speak to you next time round, mate. Cheers.
Right, thank you very much.
Now, Tom, you have a choice there of other people waiting for an interview. Who should we go for?
We'll go for Billy Rose, considering he's been in the interview chat for the last 30 years. Welcome, Billy, to the comms box.
Hello, boys. How we doing?
Very good, mate. Thank you very much. We thoroughly enjoyed this evening. But how was things from your perspective?
Yeah, it was good. I think I got nearly finished every single race. I'm sure you boys saw the little Jack Ashton incident. No, he apologised on the Facebook page. Said that apparently it was the clutch he hit instead of the brake, but we never know for sure. Also, no, it's he's apologised. It is what it is. But no, tonight was good. I've always had a thing for Imola. I've always enjoyed it as a track, and I remember the winter series. It wasn't that long ago we did it in the winter series. Imola, I think, it was one of the last of the back end of the season. So yeah, no, I enjoyed tonight. Got a little bit unlucky with a couple of instances, but I managed to just sort of keep calm, spin the car back around, and just kept going. Sadly, with the Jack Ashton one, I couldn't. Too much damage, but yeah, no, I think positive. Got some good points in and moved up the championship. So I'm happy about that. Just enjoyed it. Yeah, that's the main thing, I think.
Yeah, it definitely is the main thing, mate. But yeah, I think you had a good evening. But as you say, a few incidents out there. But you're currently flying the flag for Northern Lights Racing out there. I think tonight you were the sole guy, weren't you? So how's it been in the AM Championship? Obviously, Result Clothing and Automech Not Kill coming on really strong this evening. But do you think you can take the fight to those boys looking further on?
I definitely think I can. I find that probably Result Clothing is probably my biggest sort of nemesis, I suppose you could say, but they're the biggest contenders with me. I find myself getting mixed up with those Result Clothing guys. Normally find them in herds, but yeah, it's not easy when you're on your own, but at the same time it also makes it that little bit more fun, a bit more challenging. And when you do beat if you beat all of the Result Clothing, the likes of all of them, it's a nice little you can kind of get yourself a pat on the back because you think you're on your own and taking on a team. So yeah, I think I'm going well in the AM, and tonight, like I say, managed to finally have been looking at the standings and seeing that I'm finally going back up. So yeah, positive, definitely pulling a lot of positives away from tonight, and feel like I've got a little bit of my mojo back from the last two rounds. Got a bit unlucky in the first two, but we've got a long season, and yeah, look forward to Brands Hatch next week. Definitely going to get tons and tons of practicing.
Yeah, definitely. Just moving on to Branch Hatch quickly, how are you feeling looking forward to going into the Indy? Are you a fan, or do you think it's going to be a bloodbath out there?
I remember it the first time we did it. I think it was round one for the winter series, and I think I remember it was a bit of a bloodbath. I think there was a lot of incidences, but no, I remember being that was my first race with the team, so very nervous. But I think it's going to be very different going into it next week. I'm just going to hopefully get a lot of practice in. It's not my strongest track in the MX5, but I'm hoping, like I say, over the weekend and start of next week, I'm going to hopefully get some practice in. I actually have the Tuesday off for work, so maybe could slot a little bit of time in there as well. So just before we've got the race. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think we all know that it's quite a fun track and is definitely one to throw up some interesting racing. But yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, we look forward to seeing you go around there. But just before we let you go, is there anyone that you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
I don't know really. It's I think every week it's difficult to come up with it, but normally for me it's just the team always, and all the sponsors like GTA Omega. You know, they're the reason I'm here. So and they're the reason I'm racing and loving every minute of it. So yeah, thanks to those guys.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Billy Rose there, flying the flag for Northern Lights Racing in the AM category. A brilliant evening, even Billy, and we look forward to seeing you next round, mate.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks
Good night,
much,
guys.
mate. Bye.
Always a gentleman, Billy Rose. Cracking to speak to him. And with just a couple of minutes left, we'll have a quick word. Scott Malcolm from Result Clothing joins us. Scott, how did your night go tonight?
That was pretty good tonight. Finished all 4. That's all I could ask for.
Did you get involved in many of the incidents, any of the argy-bargy, or was it quite plain sailing from where you were?
There was this one wee incident that in race 4, I think it was the second lap or third lap, but nothing to worry about. Nobody got that badly hurt or anything.
Well, we were just saying to the other guys we've interviewed, we're going to Brands Hatch Indy next week. Is that a track you're particularly fond of?
I can go hot and cold there. Depends on the mood. Good wee track for these kind of cars, but I think a lot of people like driving that track, and a lot of people have driven it in real life. So we'll see how it goes. Do a bit of practice for the week and try and get up to scratch.
Well, we hope it all goes well for you, buddy. Before we let you go, because we're running out of time here tonight, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Just the usual crowd. Result Clothing, you guys, and I just want to say Automatic.co, good luck for the rest of the season.
Cracking stuff, mate. Well, thanks very much for your time, and we'll speak to you, well, hopefully next week. If not, then at a different round.
Yeah, it depends on the results go.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Scott Malcolm there of Result Clothing for this season, and flying the flag for them in the AM Championship. Just final thoughts, Tom. Imola throws up some cracking racing once again. Really, really good night tonight, I thought.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? Not too many incidents out there, a few big crashes and a few big shunts, but nothing really that major. And I think it's really brought the series, and I think it's the first track really where we can really see the potential of the teams. SimLab really shone out tonight though, didn't they? And I think that Excite will be looking to come back with a vengeance next week. So yeah, really enjoyed it. What about your thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, really enjoyed it again. I think I say this every week, but the series just keeps getting better, and I think like you say, we're starting to see who the drivers are that are going to be sort of competing at the very sharp end and get the good results. And it's going to be a long old season, and some of the teams perhaps been a little bit disappointed at the start. I think they realise now what they're going to need to do, and they're going to need to step it up pretty quickly. They've probably got 4 or 5 rounds before it starts to become a bit critical. So yeah, we'll see how it progresses over the next few weeks.
It's been a pleasure to do this with you boys as always, and of course thank you to the iRacing Esports Network for having us. Don't forget to subscribe to their channel and make sure you're notified of future videos, and of course if you want to, you can go and check out Apex Racing TV on Facebook and Twitch and other social media platforms as well. I've been Chaz Draycott alongside Tom Jacobs and Alex Simpson. Thanks very much again, boys, and we will catch you next week at Brands Hatch Indy. Have a fantastic evening.